Good morning, guys. Today we're doing some drifting in the Model 3. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing here is showing you guys a couple cool things. First off, the Model 3 has very advanced traction control, and but there is one way that you can not defeat it, but add a little bit of fun. You go into driving, and to do that, here you start with the small car icon there. Go into driving, and you see creep and slip start. Hit slip start. It says use to help free vehicles stuck in snow, sand, or mud. It allows a small amount of wheel slip. Not much, but a small amount. And you have this icon that comes up, slip start enabled. TC means traction control. So it's telling you that you've shut off traction control, but you haven't. You have decreased its sensitivity. So, and for those of you that are curious, this is a long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3. And so the all-wheel drive cars would handle differently in this situation. But a number of people have stated that you really can't drift a Model 3 because of the traction control. Other videos have shown that you can drift it a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit of fun around my neighborhoods and that. I've lived in this town my whole life. I know the streets that are pretty barren and a couple cul-de-sacs that are clear to sort of slide around a little bit. So let's see how the Model 3 behaves in the snow with slip start enabled. So incidentally, my neighbor across the street there, you can see he's got a dog with 3 legs. So the dog's, that's why the dog's kind of hopping. It has one front leg. So, but if you mash the throttle all the way down, which is what I'm doing now, you get a little bit of drift out of it. And you can see the traction control light is flashing, but I do get some wheel slip. So let's turn the wipers on here. Slow, intermittent. And let's see. And we'll send some heat onto the windshield there. So get a little bit of very slow sliding here. It's very, very slippery right now. I've got my foot to the floor, and you can see it's barely accelerating, and the traction control light is flashing, but the car is drifting around. If I didn't turn off the traction control and hit the slip start button, then it wouldn't really be sliding at all. Neighbor of mine, he's a retired police officer. He gets a kick out of me kind of messing around when I'm on my electric bikes and that. He's great. He as a retired law enforcement, he gets a kick out of seeing some of that. So let's see if we can drift it a little bit here. Not quite as much. Get a little bit more speed coming up here and see what we can get out of it. So foot down, sliding. Not really. Not really. Now we're coming to a T intersection here. Slow that down. My wiper blades for some reason are starting to make noise. Anyway, so let's see here. Let's get a good slide going. Full steering lock there. Still got my foot all the way to the floor. I can hear the ABS pulsing on the front wheels to try and regain stability. My foot is to the floor, and you can see it's just maintaining 9 miles per hour up this hill, and quite a bit of counter lock required here, counter steer. You'll occasionally hear pulsing. That's the front ABS pulsing to try and stabilize the car and get it out of a slide for me. So, caught the sand there. A little bit of kick. Now what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to floor it, and then I'm going to steer onto the high traction area. So I'm flooring it here. You can see traction control's kicking in. Let's get over to where there's traction, and you can see the car kicking in and pulling. So it is definitely feeling the traction, and when I have hook, it will allow acceleration, and then when it slips again, it disallows acceleration. So the sampling rate that the traction control has in this car is fantastic. It really is. So let's see if we can find a couple other streets that I can get a good solid drift going. Climbs kind of on an angle up certain hills if the road is off camber a little bit there. Going straight but with the wheel turned to the right. So let's see here. This is a little bit of a sketchy intersection, and again, I'm not going to stop fully because I want to continue a little bit of momentum, make sure I can make it. Now I'm actually going to head purposely toward the high traction surface here to climb up this hill. Oh, if it lets me. Oh, it's not letting me make it up the hill, so I'm actually going to have to back down this hill. And thank God for reverse cameras. So we'll back up, and I'll get a little bit of a running start to make it up this hill. All right. Let's go here. I've got my foot to the floor. There we go. Made it up the hill just fine. I think it's going to be time for wiper blades here shortly. Here. And let's see if it'll let me slide all the way around this island. Yep. Very slowly, but I've got the wheel turned to the right even though we're heading to the left. Alright, I'm going to go into this parking lot here. See if there's a clear area that I can spin the car around a little bit. So, there we go. There's a good one. Although we're creeping very slowly. Have my foot to the floor. Front ABS is kicking in again to straighten out the car. Feels odd carrying such a long but slow and gradual drift, turning left while the wheel is aimed to the right. The majority of this video has been with my foot all the way down. My foot is to the floor right now. So we'll go ahead and turn left here. Now the problem with this is I need to gain enough momentum to get a bit of a drift, but keep the car slow enough that I'm not going to get into any trouble here. So, like, put my foot to the floor there. I don't know, well, let's check out this corner here. Let's see. Turn right here. And of course, there's a car on the other, parked on the other side, so I really can't do much on this corner, but you can see on the map I'm approaching another corner that's a sweeping right. So as long as there's no cars parked on the side there, I should be able to drift pretty well. Got my foot to the floor climbing this hill. I'm going to let off for this corner just to kind of get my bearings here. Alright, foot to the floor. Not much to speak of. I think I'm going to turn around and take that corner the other way. Alright, now it's going to be really hard for me to stop if anything should go awry, so I want to make sure there aren't any cars coming the other way. And now get into it. Foot is down to the floor. And the car really is intervening to help. This car definitely does not want to let you drift. It's very, very clear on that. It kind of talks to you and doesn't want you to drift. So I'm skidding there, ABS is kicking in. So there's another, you can see another sweeping left-hand turn, probably 100-degree turn coming up here. So we'll see if I can get a good drift going on here. All right, I see no cars coming, foot down. No, it's just heading toward the curb. I don't want to crash, so there we go. There's a little bit more. And we have another cul-de-sac here. Let's see if I can get anything out of the car around this island area. So let's see if it will. Yeah, it's drifting a little bit. There we go. That one's pretty good. ABS in the front, once again intervening. So I'm going to take this corner again here, see if I can get a drift out of it going in this direction. Get a little speed, foot to the floor. There we go, there's a good one. Oh, have some slip and some grip in that area. Very fun trying to see how much the car will do versus how much I have to help out. All right, well, that was a little bit of an experience. It sure does seem to me that Tesla has done their homework on the stability and the traction control for this car. Absolutely fantastic how much the car does its best to keep you out of trouble. But it is a lot of fun with the traction control set for the slip start enabled. It just adds a little playfulness to the car. With it off and to where you've got just full traction control, it's actually boring to drive in the snow because the car is just very, very safe. It has your back. But when you turn on the slip start, it's a lot of fun. So anyway, simple video. It was just, we haven't had much snow this year. So now that we have a snow that is plenty slippery, I wanted to set up the camera and show you guys what the experience is like. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, my referral code will be a link in the description below. If you're buying a new Tesla, you can get some free charging in the supercharging network if you use the referral code. So everybody, have yourselves a wonderful day, and I got to go inside so I can get donned in all my winter apparel to take my son out sledding behind the big mountain board, and I've got an update video coming up on that as well. Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye now.